You're listening to Cool FM. Cool FM is a TVH Group of Networks radio station. Tondo's greatest hits are here. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 11.
Good morning, and welcome to Cool News at 11. Eating news one more of lawmakers, business groups, civil society, and even his economic managers. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday banned all Philippine offshore gaming operators POGOs effective immediately. Disguising as legitimate entities, their operations have ventured into illicit areas furthest from gaming, such as financial scamming, money laundering, prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, brutal torture, even murder. The grave abuse and disrespect to our system of laws must stop, the President said during his third State of the Nation address, Sona eliciting a stunning ovation and chanting of his initials BBM among lawmakers, government officials, and other guests at the Batasang Pambansa Session Hall. The disorder that it caused our society as well as the desecration of our country must stop. Effective today, all POGOs are banned. Marcos firmly declared toward the end of his speech that lasted an hour and 22 minutes. The President instructed the state regulator Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corp, POGO, to wind down and cease the operations of POGOs by the end of the year. He then directed the Department of Labor and Employment DOLE, in coordination with his economic managers, to use the time between now and then to find new jobs for our countrymen who will be displaced. The DOLE earlier said that some 25,000 workers could find themselves jobless should Congress enact a legislation banning POGOs. The chief executive stressed that the ban on POGOs will solve many of the problems that we are encountering, but it will not solve all of them. He urged all government officials and employees, law enforcers, and the Filipino people to always be vigilant, visible, and think of the nation in order to solve all the problems that we have been suffering under. Marcos' pronouncement ended speculation over his stance on POGOs amid the involvement of illegal offshore gaming hubs in crimes ranging from financial crimes to kidnapping, human trafficking, and murder. POCOR Chair Alejandro Tanco vowed to comply with the President's order on POGOs in the remaining 6 months of 2024. We have to start the process. We cannot just do it by the end of the year. There will be a process first. Many of those to be affected are legally working. We have to explain it to them. Tanco told reporters after Marcos' speech. Tanco said he was not surprised by the President's pronouncement, adding that he had no qualms about implementing it, even if he was in favor of stronger regulation rather than an outright ban. He warned that there might be an increase in the number of illegal gaming hubs in the country with the ban in place. There should be coordination with law enforcement agencies to counter this, Tanco added. Last week, business groups pushed to ban POGOs, a move that snowballed following the congressional probe on the social ills and other crimes that attended their operations. On separate occasions, Finance Secretary Ralph Recto, Social Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, and Budget Secretary Amana Pangadaman agreed that POGOs should be banned. China, which prohibits all forms of gambling, had long urged the Philippines to ban POGOs, which cater mainly to Chinese nationals. POGOs first emerged in the country in 2016, the first year of President Rodrigo Duterte's presidency, as he pursued closer trade and investment ties with China. But along with the rise of POGOs came reports of serious crimes, killings, kidnappings, blackmail, prostitution, illegal detention, and other infractions that cost the loss of the country and victimized workers of POGOs. In justifying continued POGO operations in September 2019, Duterte shutting them down would cause job and revenue losses. According to data presented by the Department of Finance during a Senate hearing last July 16, the estimated total economic benefits for POGOs amounted to 166.49 billion pesos annually, while the estimated total economic cost was 265.74 billion pesos. Economic losses included both direct and indirect costs of allowing POGO operations, which include effects of reputational risk, which have an impact on foreign direct investments, and the negative impact of criminal incidents to the country's attractiveness as a tourist destination. Since last year, several illegal POCO operations have been raided for being linked to criminal activities, including espionage. One of these was the police raid of an illegal POCO hub in Bambang Tarlac following human trafficking and serious illegal detention complaints that were later linked to suspended Bambang Mayor Alex Guo. Earlier in his speech, the president reassured the people that the government's anti-narcotics campaign would remain bloodless under his watch and that extermination of illegal drugs suspects would never be a strategy, drawing the standing ovation the course of his zona. The previous administration's bloody campaign on illegal drugs attracted international attention from human rights groups following the mounting death toll that it had caused. Drug suspects killed was officially placed at 6,235 as of February 28, 2022, according to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, adding that 331,694 suspects were arrested in the 229,868 drug war operations that started on the day Duterte took office in 2016. The Department of Justice on Monday condemned the fake video showing President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. allegedly using illegal drugs, saying it would pursue necessary actions to identify and prosecute those behind the material. The timing of the release of this fake video, occurring just before the President's State of the Nation address, unmistakably indicates an intent to undermine the credibility of the President and the critical speech he is set to deliver, it said in a statement. At the hastily called press conference at Camp Krem ahead of the SONA, Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. ordered the Philippine National Police to form a task force to investigate the matter. I have known him for a long time and definitely those features are his, Abalos told reporters, referring to the man in the video. This is too malicious. It's so unfair to the President because he will deliver his SONA today and this came out. The video, which was reportedly played during an anti-Marcos government rally in the United States, has since gone viral on social media. Abalos ordered the PNP to coordinate with the Department of Information and Communications Technology to investigate. In an unabashed interview at the Batasang Pambansa, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said the footage was clearly meant to defame the President. The guy in the video looked like a Korean. That's clearly not him, Bersamin added. Former President Rodrigo Duterte on Monday denied having a hand in the release of the video that his supporters claimed showed Marcos using drugs. In a statement, Duterte doubled down on his allegations that the president was a drug user, an allegation he made in January, adding that denial was the weakest form of defense. With due apologies to all the experts who voted for the authenticity of the video, the refusal of President Marcos to undergo the hair follicle drug test as the best proof not only of the video's authenticity but worse, his drug addiction, he said. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday reaffirmed his administration's commitment to continue its trust to uphold the country's territorial rights and sovereignty through what he termed as diplomatic and pacific means. In his third State of the Nation address, the president took a tough stand that the Philippines will continue to assert its rights and interests while continuing efforts to de-escalate tensions in the disputed waters in the West Philippine Sea. The West Philippine Sea is not a figment of our imagination. This is ours, and we continue to be for so long for as long as the spirit of our love for our country lives on in all of us. The president emphatically said in Filipino. His statement briefly interrupted by cheers and a standing ovation from the audience at the Batasang Pambansa. The Philippines cannot yield. The Philippines cannot waver, he stressed. Though evading mention of the prevailing tension in the West Philippine Sea with China, the president said that the Philippines will assert its rights and interests in the same fair and pacific way that it has always done. Proper diplomatic channels and mechanisms under the rules-based international order remain the only acceptable means of settling disputes, he said. Peace and community building will always be the Philippines' clarion call, the president noted, citing the country's scheduled hosting of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit in 2026. The president said the government would undertake measures to strengthen and enhance the awareness of the Filipino people and ensure that this is passed on to the younger generations. Laws on our maritime zones and archipelagic sea lanes will make sure that this intergenerational mandate, this duty, will firmly take root in the hearts and minds of all our people, he said. The Philippines, he said, continues to fortify its defensive posture of both through developing self-reliance and through partnerships with like-minded states. We are now more conscientious as a people and strategic in heightening our aero and maritime domain awareness, he said. The Philippines has a visiting forces agreement with the United States and Australia. Earlier this month, it signed a reciprocal access agreement with Japan allowing the entry of military troops and equipment into each other's jurisdiction for combat training and disaster response. The government is also involving its foreign partners in helping patrol its territorial waters, especially in the West Philippine Sea, where China has recently escalated its aggressive behavior by blocking resupply missions to Philippine troops stationed in Secondama Shoal. The president paid tribute to the armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Coast Guard, and the Philippine fisherfolk in the West Philippine Sea. Please accept our wholehearted gratitude for your continued vigilance and sacrifices, he said, during loud cheers and a standing ovation. He said the Philippines would continuously try to find ways to de-escalate tensions in contested areas with foreign counterparts, but without compromising its position and principles. I know that our neighbors too are doing their best to make this work, he said. Aside from the Philippines, other members of ASEAN such as Vietnam, Brunei, and Malaysia also have overlapping claims with Beijing, which claims nearly the entire South China Sea, despite an international tribunal's ruling in 2016 saying it had no legal basis. Alright, it is now 12 minutes past 11 and we will be right back for more headlines right here on koolNews at 11. Stick around, we will be right back. Welcome back. Starting with the international business headlines, as the billionaire founder of South Korean internet conglomerate Kakao was arrested early Tuesday, a Seoul court said, accused of manipulating stock prices during the acquisition of K-pop powerhouse SM Entertainment. Founded in 2010, Kakao has grown to be the sprawling empire and owns everything from a major online bank to South Korea's largest taxi hailing app, plus Kakao Talk, the country's biggest messaging app, which is installed on 90% of phones. It also has a vast entertainment portfolio encompassing music labels and talent management, which it augmented significantly last year by securing a totaling 39.87% stake in SM Entertainment, becoming its largest shareholder. Prosecutors accused Kakao of buying 240 billion won, Korean won, or 173 million US dollars worth of SM shares on 553 occasions in February 2023 at inflated price in a deliberate effort to thwart a takeover bid by Hipee, the agency behind K-pop megastars BTS. Hipee had purchased a 14.8% stake from SM's founder Lee So-man and proposed buying more shares at 120,000 won each, but withdrew its attempt after SM's stock price soared. The Seoul Southern District Court approved an arrest warrant for Kakao founder Kim Bom-soo, citing risk of him fleeing and destroying evidence, it said in the statement. Authorities have also questioned other Kakao executives, prosecutors said. At an emergency Kakao Group meeting last week, Kim said that it was a pity that the situation had occurred while group members are working together to renovate management and innovate AI-based technology. He later said the charges against him were not true. I believe the facts will be revealed in the end, as I have never ordered or tolerated any illegal activities, Kim said, according to a press release sent to AFP by the company on Tuesday. Experts said that the detention of the firm's head could cause problems for the company. Kakao AI-based innovation will likely meet difficulty due to the absence of the head of the company, and the group will have to focus its efforts on eliminating total risk and individual risk, said Choi Kye-yong-jin, a law professor at South Korea's Gakhon University. The risk of the group due to the leader being absent from Kakao will probably continue for a considerable period of time, he added. Kakao will need to reorganize its governance. U.S. House leaders are calling on CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz to testify to Congress about the cybersecurity company's role in sparking the widespread tech outage that grounded flights, knocked banks and hospital systems offline, and affected services around the world. CrowdStrike said this week a significant number of the billions of computers that crashed on Friday, causing global disruptions, are back in operation as its customers and regulators await a more detailed explanation of what went wrong. Republicans who lead the House Homeland Security Committee said Monday they want those answers soon. While we appreciate CrowdStrike's response and coordination with stakeholders, we cannot ignore the magnitude of this incident, which some have claimed is the largest IT outage in history, said a letter to Kurtz from Representative Mark E. Green of Tennessee and Representative Andrew Garbarino of New York. They added that Americans deserve to know in detail how this incident happened and the mitigation steps CrowdStrike is taking. A defective software update sent by CrowdStrike to its customers disrupted airlines, banks, hospitals, and other critical services Friday, affecting about 8.5 million machines running Microsoft's Windows operating system. The painstaking work of fixing it has often required a company's IT crew to manually delete files on affected machines. CrowdStrike said late Sunday in a blog post that it was starting to implement a new technique to accelerate remediation of the problem. It also said in a brief statement Monday that it is actively in contact with congressional committees. Shares of the tech-based cybersecurity company have dropped more than 20% since the meltdown, knocking off billions of dollars in market revenue. Not revenue, but value. The scope of the disruptions has also caught the attention of government regulators, including antitrust enforcers, though it remains to be seen if they take action against the company. All too often these days, a single glitch results in a system-wide outage, affecting industries from healthcare and airlines to banks and auto dealers, said Lina Kehan, chair of the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, in a Sunday post on the social media platform X. Millions of people and businesses paid the price. These incidents reveal how concentration can create fragile systems. Now back to national headlines as classes in Cavite province were suspended on Monday, July 22 due to bad weather caused by Typhoon Karina. Governor John Vic Remula declared the suspension of all classes for all levels in the province on Tuesday, July 23, extending the same declaration made for Monday, the Cavite Provincial Information Office announced on its Facebook page. Cavite City Mayor Danver Jua also announced that work in the City Hall was suspended Tuesday due to strong wind and heavy rain. Employees who are giving basic service and frontliners will still report to work, Chua said in a post on social media Tuesday. Department of Finance Secretary Ralph Recto on Monday welcomed President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision to impose a total ban on Philippine offshore gaming operators. I support the President's decision to ban Pogo. The cost outweighs the benefits, Recto said in a text message to the Philippine News Agency. I think that is right. Pogos have reputational risk, not to mention there are bad effects in the country. We see this, we talk about these every day, he said in a separate interview on the sidelines of the President's State of the Nation address. Recto said there are crimes linked to the illegal Pogo operations in the country. The finance chief said he recommended to the President the total Pogo ban, adding he also provided a cost-benefit analysis. If we sum it up, my recommendation to ban Pogo and the cost-benefit analysis, I think the decision of the President is right, Recto added. Semiconductor shares were among the big winners Monday, rebounding from recent weakness as U.S. stocks climb ahead of major earnings and economic data later this week. Nvidia, Broadcom, and Texas Instruments were among the chip companies that rose more than 2%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up 0.3% at 40,415.44. The broad-based S&P 500 gained 1.1% to 5,564.41, while the tech-rich Nasdaq Composite Index jumped 1.6% to 18,007.57. Joe Biden's surprise announcement that he will not seek re-election dominated the news cycle, but analysts described the effect on the markets of Biden's exit and endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris as muted. Briefing.com analyst Patrick O'Hara said Monday's gain by chip companies and other technology equities amounted to a buy-the-dip trade after a recent pullback. But O'Hara also characterized the gains by some large tech companies as a little bit of a defensive-minded trade given the headlines. We're in a period of heightened political uncertainty, and those stocks are generally looked at as being defensive outlets given their industry-leading positions, their balance sheet strength, and their generally dependable earnings growth, O'Hara said. Among individual companies, Delta Airlines slumped 3.6% as it continued to be plagued by a major IT outage connected to a flow update to an antivirus program from an American cybersecurity group, CrowdStrike. Delta canceled more than 820 flights on Monday, according to tracker FlightAware. CrowdStrike also had a rough day, plummeting 30.5% amid worries of the reputational hit to the company. Verizon tumbled 6% after confirming its full-year forecast by reporting second quarter revenues a bit below analyst expectations. This week's earnings calendar includes reports from Google parent Alphabet, General Motors, and Coca-Cola, while the economic release include personal consumption pricing data. And finally, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission will create a database of foreigners working for Philippine offshore gaming operations to help in their subsequent deportation. PAOCC Director Undersecretary Gilbert Cruz revealed this a few hours after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered a ban on POGOs in his third State of the Nation address. Marcos gave concerned government agencies until the end of 2024 to wind down the operations of offshore gaming nationwide. According to the POCC official, the 5 months given to them by Marcos would be sufficient to achieve the goal. This 5-month period provides ample time not only to identify the process, but more importantly, this will be enough to create a database of all foreign nationals working in these companies, Cruz said in a statement released Monday morning. This database is crucial to ensure that all POGO workers will be subsequently deported to their countries of origin, he added. Cruz likewise said that PAOCC will promptly collaborate with the Department of Justice Interagency Council Against Trafficking, Bureau of Immigration, Anti-Money Laundering Council, Philippine National Police, and National Bureau of Investigation in implementing the POGO ban. He believed that the President's POGO ban directive aims to put an end to the proliferation of gambling activities that became an avenue for POGOs to cover their alleged crimes. Rest assured that PAOCC and the other law enforcement agencies will continue to neutralize the scam farms that are still operating, Cruz added. And that is it for koolNews at 11. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And the headlines continues with koolNews at noon later at 12 noon. Until then, I am Cairo, aka Aspir. Good morning.